Major League Baseball just released their spring training hats for 2025, and in this video, I'm going to go through all of them and tell you what I think of them to celebrate spring training starting this past week. I just want to preface this by saying this is all my own personal opinion, so I'm sorry if there's a hat that you really like that I didn't, or I didn't show you your favorite team's hat the most love. This is all my opinion. With that, let's get into this. Getting it started with the Atlanta Braves, this one is okay. I like that they used a red base for the hat with the navy brim, but I feel like they could have done something a little bit more fun with the logo instead of just using their primary logo. But overall, it's okay but just kind of average, so I'm going to give this one a B-. Next, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks. I really like this hat. I love that they used the light blue teal color for the base and the brim, and they used the snake D-backs logo. This one looks really, really nice. I'm going to give this one an A. Coming up next year, we have the Athletics. Not the Oakland Athletics, not the Sacramento Athletics, just the Athletics. I'm sorry, this one is kind of terrible. They inverted the colors from the standard A's hat, and it just doesn't work. I don't like how they used yellow everywhere on the hat, and it's not a very good shade of yellow either. I think they could have done something different with this, so I'm going to give this a D-. Not quite an F, because I do feel like there are worse ones, but definitely the worst I've seen so far. Next, we have the Baltimore Orioles. This hat is like the definition of mid for me. I like the orange base and the fact that they didn't use their standard bird logo, but instead went with the O's logo, but I feel like they could have done a bit more. What I feel would be really cool was if they used the Oriole bird for the hat. I think that would look sick. I'm going to give this one a C. Next up is the Boston Red Sox. This might tie for the worst one we've seen with the Athletics. I am not a fan of the white Red Sox logo on the front of the hat, and the hat is very vibrant, so it definitely wouldn't work in the regular season, but I think that element is okay for spring training. The thing that really ruins this one for me is the white Red Sox logo. I don't know what they thought they were doing here, but it just doesn't look good at all. This one's getting a D- as well. Coming up next is the Chicago Cubs, and my friends, I think in this hat, we have our first A+ grade. I love the baby blue base. It pairs perfectly with the royal blue brim, and I think the blue cub on the front of the hat, it's just perfection in my opinion. Next, we have the Cincinnati Reds, and we go from an extreme high to an extreme low here. This is our first F grade of the video. That's because it's literally just the standard Reds hat. They did absolutely nothing different, nothing original, and it's just boring. The Cleveland Guardians are up next, and this one is okay. I like that they used the Guardians logo with the wings, because I do really like this logo, but I feel like they shouldn't have done all red for this one. I'm going to give it a C. Next, we have the Colorado Rockies. I'm not a big fan of this one. It's very plain. They went with all purple, and it's just not great. Not much to say about this one. This one is also a C. Next up is the Chicago White Sox. Look, I get it. There's not much you can do with the White Sox. The only colors they have to work with are white, black, and gray, and there's not much you can do with such neutral colors. However, I think what they did isn't bad for spring training. They used like a very light gray, which is almost a white color, but not entirely white. So it's okay. I'll give it a B+. Next, we have the Detroit Tigers, and this one is very nice. I like the fact that they went with the all-orange base. I really like when the Tigers use more orange in their logos. They went with the tiger for the logo instead of the Old English D, which I feel is a nice touch, and then the shadows on the tiger are in navy, and this is very, very nice. I'm going to give this one an A. The Houston Astros, okay, they went with a light orange base and then a dark orange bill with the circular Astros logo. This one's okay. They could have done more, I feel like, but it's not bad. A-. Next is the Kansas City Royals. I like this one. I like they used the baby blue base with the royal blue brim, very similar to the Cubs hat. This one is very nice. This one gets an A+ for me. The Los Angeles Angels, F. That's all I have to say, because it's the same problem as the Reds one. It's literally just the Angels hat. Point proven. Next, Los Angeles Dodgers. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same as their spring training hat from last year, and it's just not very good. It's the same colors as the standard hat, and all they did was swap out the LA for the Dodger D, which is worse in my opinion. I'm going to give this one a D+. Next is the Miami Marlins. This one, I'm not sure if it's in their current hat rotation or not. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I have a feeling that this isn't one of their standard hats with the teal base instead of the black. In my personal opinion, this should be one of the main hats they wear during the season. It's a really nice color and it matches with their teal jerseys that they have. However, for spring training, it's a bit bland, so I'm going to give it a C+, because I do like the hat, just not for spring training. The Milwaukee Brewers are up next, and honestly, I don't know how to feel about this one. I'm not a huge fan of the yellow base, but it's also not awful. I think I'm going to give this one a C-. It's just below average for me. Next, we have the Minnesota Twins. This one isn't bad. They use the M with the North Star logo that they use on their standard hats when they're playing on the road, but instead of all navy, they went with a red base. I think the red base is nice for spring training. I'm just not a huge fan of the M with the North Star logo, so I'm going to give this one a C. Just average. The New York Mets. Wow, this one looks incredible. The Mets are the only team in this whole set to actually embrace the spring training vibe. I know that all of these hats have the spring training logo inside of them, but other than that, most teams just use brighter colors, but the Mets fully embrace the fact that we are no longer in the cold winter. Baseball season is here, we are in Florida where it's nice and sunny and warm, and they have really implemented that idea well with Mr. Met on the front wearing sunglasses. I love how they use Mr. Met for this hat because I don't think enough teams use their mascots for spring training or BP hats, and I don't think they should be used for regular season, but for spring training, I feel it works perfectly. I love that they went with the orange base. It's so vibrant, and then the blue accents just make this hat so nice. Easy A+ for this one. This is the best one we've seen so far. The New York Yankees are next as we head across town to the Bronx. Look, I see what they were trying to do here. The Yankee pinstripes may be the most iconic trademark in sports, and they tried to incorporate that into this hat. However, I personally believe that you cannot put pinstripes on a hat and have it be fantastic. This one is fine, definitely above average, but also definitely not in the A tier. I'll give it a B. Coming up next is the Philadelphia Phillies. Look, I don't really like the Phillies. Makes sense as I'm a Mets fan. But the Phillies batting practice hat last year in 2024 was absolute perfection. They used a blue base with a red brim and then had the Fanatic front and center on the hat. It was just beautiful. This one cannot top that. It's pretty good, don't get me wrong, but compared to that BP hat, it's kind of mediocre. Still, I'll give it a B+. The Pittsburgh Pirates are up next, and I like that they used the actual Pirates logo with the pirate on it. They went with all black, which I think is a nice touch. I'll also give this one a B+. Next is the San Diego Padres. This one has sort of the same problem as the Brewers. I don't love the all yellow. However, this is the better of the two because I feel it uses yellow that's a bit nicer. I'll give it a B+. Actually, scratch that. B-. Still good, just B- instead. Seattle Mariners are next. I really like this one. I like the teal base and the navy blue brim. They use the baseball and star logo, which I think is nice. I'll give this an A. Next up is the San Francisco Giants. This one is okay. All they really did is make the Giants logo black instead of orange and then use an orange base, which I think is nice. I just feel they could have done more. I'll give it a C. The St. Louis Cardinals are coming up next. This one isn't great. They use the Cardinal logo instead of the STL, and it's the same colors. I'm just going to give this one a D. It's just not very good. The Tampa Bay Rays are up next. I actually really like this one. They used the sunshine logo, and then they went with a nice baby blue base. The sand yellow brim complements the blue very nicely. This one is an easy A. We got 3 hats left here. The Texas Rangers one is okay. I like when teams use more of the baby blue color because I feel like it works really nice on hats. But this one just doesn't fit the Rangers, I feel like. I'll give it a C. The Toronto Blue Jays are next. This one is pretty nice. It's the only 2-panel hat in this set, with the white base and then the royal blue back. They also have the baby blue brim and the Jays logo on the front. This one is definitely solid, and I'm going to give it a B+. And finally, to round out the video, we have the Washington Nationals. This one is not great. They used all navy blue, which doesn't look very good at all, and then they went with a standard W that is also navy blue, so that hat is basically all navy blue with little touches of red and orange around the W. This one is a D. So there you have it, my opinion on every team's spring training hat. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to my channel down below. Check out Around the Diamond Designs for great card designs, link in description, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace!